Have you ever found yourself problem hopping? And what I mean by that is the moment you start to succeed in your business and the moment the things start to go really well, you sign the new client, cash starts flooding in, whatever it might be, is almost the exact moment that you then seem to have issues with your significant other. It's the exact moment you then seem to have issues with your health. Little niggles start flaring up and little issues start flaring up. Or you just attract weird fucking dramas or disasters or whatever it might be into your life after things finally start going really well. Well, if this is occurring for you, the good news is that it's really fucking common. Almost every entrepreneur that we work with ends up realizing there's a period in their journey where they start to have this occur, where things start to go incredible and then a different component of their life then falls apart. And I call this problem hopping. Now, basically, what ends up occurring here is, I'll give you an example. I've got a thriving business, a thriving company, and it has been thriving for a very long time. And over the last year, I've been able to build this business in a way that's provided me more freedom than ever. So everything's really thriving. And then my health has been really thriving as well. I've put a lot of intention and a lot of focus into building my health up. And that's great too. So those two things are thriving. But then what ends up happening is my daughter is born. And the birth of her goes perfectly. Everything is amazing. And I'm holding her in my arms, and then a week later, everything else starts falling in my business. And I'm self-aware enough to know that issues don't occur within my business unless at some capacity I want them to. So what ends up happening is I've got this beautiful daughter in my arms. I've got an amazing relationship and level of connection with my wife that I've never had before. And my health is thriving. And then my business starts to have these issues. So then as a resourced individual, I go into the business and I rejig things around and I go, okay, great. This is actually not a problem. I need to just this and this and da. And I tidy it all up and everything's great. Then I start having this weird hypochondria around my health. I start having this weird little niggly feeling in my stomach, and I go into a fucking bullshit spiral of thoughts of what it could be, and that it's going to be some form of catastrophe or whatever it might be. And then I sit through that and I move through that and I realize this isn't actually a thing. I'm just fucking dehydrated because I haven't been focusing on my water intake and everything through my wife's labor, and this has been a hectic few days and we're good. So I go ahead and I address all of that. And then that's fine. Business, fine. Health, fine. And then I start worrying about Mia, our newborn, my daughter. She starts to have some shifts in behavior and all the rest of it. And I find myself with this strange sense of irrational concern around her. But then we speak to the midwife, and the midwife reassures us, this is all fine. This is just that. Everything's good. And I sit down and I do my journal and my meditation, and I'm like, this is fine. Mia's fine. She's a healthy, thriving baby. Everything's good. So I do all of that. And I clean all of that up. And then I have business issues come up again. So then I problem hop over to my business. And then I start going, oh, maybe this is this issue here, and oh, this venue's cancelled, so I have to this, and da. And I start spiraling in that realm again. And very quickly, this started a couple of weeks ago, very quickly I realize, oh, I'm just problem hopping from problem to problem to problem. And I'm self-manifesting issues here, and here. Why? Why am I doing that? Why would I be problem hopping like that? Why would I be going from one issue to another, especially in ways especially in ways where I know I'm choosing it. I know there's no gut issue. I know that me is totally healthy. My business has been thriving for 10 fucking years. I also know that that's fine. So these are all these weird issues, but they're feeling very real in the moment. So what's actually going on here? Well, what's actually going on is that I have reached my threshold of abundance that I believed I deserved. I reached my threshold of abundance that I believed I deserved. So what I mean by that is if I look at my life, I can have a thriving business and make heaps of money. I can have heaps of freedom come with that as well. That's okay. I can go and do all the scuba diving, I can do all the things and all the rest of it. And I can even have abundant health with it as well. But then when you add in a daughter that adds so much love and fulfillment and connection and beauty, that's too much. That's now too much. So something's got to give. That's just too much beauty and too much abundance for me to handle. I don't believe that I deserve it. Not all of it. So one of them's got to come down a notch so that I can come back to my equilibrium, to my safety zone of abundance. So what do we do about this? Do we then just fix the problems that come up? Do we then just fix the business issues that come up, the health issues that come up, all the rest of that? No, we don't do that, because that's not the actual problem. There's not actually business issues other than the ones that you're choosing. There's not actual health issues other than the ones that you're choosing and self-manifesting. What's really going on here is that you have been conditioned, and I'm speaking to myself, you've been conditioned to believe that there's only a certain level of abundance that you deserve. So what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with a worthiness wound. We're dealing with the real core question of, am I actually worthy of having it all? Am I actually worthy of having it all? So when you go and you win in your business and you go sign massive deals, and then almost instantly you have that fight with your partner, or she's really upset and miserable with where you live or the direction that your life's going in or whatever it might be. What if what's actually occurring here is that your capacity of abundance is tapped out? You actually don't deserve to have the business wins and the relationship. And when I look back on my journey, that was it to a T. It was almost instantly I would start winning in business, then I'd have big dramas with my wife, right? And again, that was just at that point in time, I wasn't ready for that level of abundance. And now having this daughter has had me go, fuck, that good? Like, really? Does it really get to be that good? And I've had to then explore my inner child, and I've had to then explore my conditioning and go back further into when I was sort of 5 years old, and I found that when I reached peak states of abundance and expansion and vibrancy and all the rest of it, there was a parent in my life that would then shun that, crush it, and snuffle it down. So then the conditioning, the work becomes actually rebuilding a relationship with yourself where you're healing wounds, you're healing traumas, you're healing belief systems and your conditioning, so that you can recondition yourself to realize that you actually do deserve it all. And you do. There is actually no limit to what we as human beings deserve to experience. We are infinite human beings, and we are infinitely worthy and infinitely deserving of absolutely anything that we choose to experience in this physical dimension, in this lifetime that we live. So next time you find yourself problem hopping, you can either address the singular one-dimensional issue that you're having, e.g. the fight that you're now having with your wife. You can either address that thing, but then you're probably going to just bounce off onto the next issue, whether it's a health issue or whether it's a business issue. And then you can just, again, one-dimensionally address the health issue or one-dimensionally address the business issue or whatever it is that comes up, and just keep fucking hopping from place to place to place, to problem to problem to problem. You can do all of that, or you can actually genuinely be tender with yourself and you can actually be compassionate to yourself, and you can sit in meditation, and you can sit with a journal, and you can sit in a place of healing and ask yourself, what am I believing here about myself that's creating this reality right now? What part of me is choosing this? Is it the part of me that believes that I don't get to have all of it? For me, and for hundreds, if not thousands of entrepreneurs, the answer is yes. There's a part of you that believes there's a limit to the amount of abundance that you deserve to have. And when we move on from this and we address that narrative, then we stop problem hopping. Because we don't need to. Because we're allowed to have it all work out. Why? If you've been watching these videos, you already know why. Because life gets to be as good as we let it be.